Coming up now is another sparkling Two Mics podcast.
This is TalkSport Extra Time. We are the Two Mics, and it is time to say a very warm welcome to Mr. Mike Porky Parry. Very good morning to you, Mr. Parry.
Yeah, very good morning, Mike. It's not that warm in here, actually. Normally speaking, I like a cool studio.
Well, I've turned the heating down for you.
Yeah, well, as I'm riddled with cold and flu and God knows what else.
You're an absolute wreck, aren't you?
I'm a wreck. I'm a wreck at the moment. But I tell you what, you don't understand, Mike. You really don't understand.
What?
That the cold and flu epidemic in this country is an epidemic. I mean, it's almost a pandemic.
Well, no, I don't understand it, because
it's almost a pandemic.
It seems like you've been sick for about a month.
Oh, it's terrible. But it's not just me, it's my family. My mother, you know, who's an elderly lady now, she is full of cold and flu.
Oh, yeah.
My sister, my elder sister, had to go to the doctor and get antibiotics. Such was the extent of her cold and flu. My younger sister called an ambulance yesterday.
Really?
She was that ill. I'm not joking. Down in Bournemouth. And she called the 111 line and all that kind of stuff.
Is that what you do now? You don't call 999 anymore?
No, you call 111.
Do you?
Yeah. And
I thought they did away with that.
No, it's still there.
Oh, okay.
I didn't even know it existed, to be honest, until she told me about it.
But don't you think you should know it exists? I mean, a man in your sort of parlous health should know what the number is for an ambulance.
I believe in standing on your own 2 feet and looking after yourself. I don't believe in seeking the help from the state every time you get a cold or a flu, even though only 1/3 of my heart works, and I'm an extremely vulnerable patient,
you know.
Right,
so you keep saying.
But, no, what I'm saying is I've seen a couple of doctors last week, and I've now come to an absolute finite decision.
Have you?
I am never, ever going to shake hands with anybody again.
Why?
Get lost. It spreads so many germs, millions of germs.
You didn't get it from shaking hands with your mother, presumably.
No, of course I didn't get shaking hands with my mother, but you shake hands with other people. You get well-wishers in the street. You know, oh, Porky, you know, Mr. Parry, give my regards
to... So you're
going
to shun
Mike
the
Graham.
People that support you in the street.
I'm not going to shun anybody. I'm not going to shun anybody, but I just think it's the most unhealthy and unhygienic thing you can do.
Yeah.
Go around shaking hands with people. Now, the other thing
how many people would you say shook hands with over a regular day?
Maybe half a dozen.
Really?
Yeah, something like that.
That's bizarre.
Now, the other thing is...
Allow me to present you. David just brought this in.
Yeah.
This is Purell Advanced Hand Gel.
Right.
Now, if you use this at every opportunity, you can clean your hands after you've shaken hands with people, and that way you won't feel funny about it.
I should carry that around in my pocket and every time I shake hands with somebody, rub a bit of that on.
Why not?
Because my hands would be constantly greasy,
No, they wouldn't. No, it's dry. It's like the stuff we have in hospitals.
Rubbish.
It's like alcohol-based.
Rubbish.
You put it on your hands. Look, I'll show you. You put it on your hands like this, right?
Yeah.
And it appears to be gel-like.
You're putting it on your hands now.
I am putting it on my hands.
Yeah.
Right. Now, it looks like jelly, right? Now, you rub it like that.
And you put it all over the desk, so just mess the desk up, will you?
But within seconds, it's dry.
If that soaks into the equipment now, you will stop the computers and close TalkSport down.
But after
that's a very brilliant way of doing it.
After 2 or 3 seconds, try it.
No,
after 2 or 3 seconds,
trying it.
your hands are completely dry.
I'm not trying
and they're
that.
not sticky at all.
No, that would flake my
Why
skin.
don't you want to try it?
I'm not trying
You're
it.
frightened of it, aren't you?
No.
Are you scared of the gel?
No,
Are you scared of that? Are you? Let me show you a picture of it.
No.
You're scared of eggs. What about the woman?
No.
What about the phobia woman? Who said I should show you some pictures of eggs?
Why? What's the good of showing me pictures of eggs?
Well, she says it'll make you overcome your phobia of eggs.
Listen, let me just give you a few observations here. Did you know that every time you go over a door handle, you could have 50 million germs implanted from that door handle?
Well, I'll tell you
what,
if you touch anything on public transport, which I know you never travel on because you're such a snob.
I do.
If
you touch a seat on public transport, you get 100 million germs.
Yeah, I know, it's true.
Because not because people are filthy, because there's so many people get on and off these.
But that's a good reason why you should carry this stuff around.
I'm not carrying that around with me. Now, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. So I'm not shaking hands. I won't use doorknobs in future.
How are you going to open doors then?
I'll do it with my elbows. No. I've decided now. In place...
I have to see.
No. In place...
How are you going to open this door here? You can't open this door with your elbows.
I can.
It's a very heavy door.
No, I can.
And it hasn't got a door knob.
I'll go and open it. Shall we go and open it with my elbows?
Go and open it with your elbows.
Hang on, just see my desk for a minute.
Actually, we might have to film you doing this. I mean, you won't be able to open it with your elbows. He can't get out. He's stuck. He can't get out. All right, we'll film it.
I'll do it with my wrist.
No, you can't.
I'll do it with my wrist. There you are.
You can do it with your wrist.
Do it with my wrist, okay?
That's a good way to break your wrist when somebody's coming the other way.
I'll do it with my wrist. So there you go.
All right.
No, so I'm not going to...
See, look, my hands are completely dry now.
Well, I'm not shaking your hand.
You don't need to, but what I'm saying is that my hand is completely dry.
I'm never going to shake hands again. I'm not going to use door handles. I'm not going to use the armrests on stairs and all that kind of stuff.
Banisters, we call them.
Banisters, that's right.
If you've got armrests on the stairs, you've got some funny-looking stairs.
I utterly refuse to put my hands on a table in a pub or a bar or anything like that.
That really kills you a problem.
There are germs everywhere in life.
What about glasses in a bar?
Well, you've got to be very careful. I take my own stuff now to sanitise a glass if I go into a pub.
How do you sanitise a glass before they put the beer in it?
What I do is, when I go back to the table, I have a packet of tissues which I've already soaked in like an ethanol type spirit.
Hey?
I think it's called ethanol. And you rub it round.
Ethanol? Do you mean
ethanol? And you rub it round the top of the glass, and that clears it of any germs.
But you won't carry some gel with you.
Well,
you'll carry around a load of inflammable tissues.
But I tell you why I'm not getting into the gel. Because in future, whenever I go out... Do you remember we did a stage show 2 shows ago or whatever? I came onto stage with plastic gloves on.
That's right, yeah.
Right, now
maybe you should just wear those.
That's exactly what I'm going to do. Now, that was an illustration of my method of keeping germs at bay.
I mean, but
I didn't practice it severely enough. And the thing is, you see, the gloves I'm talking about are skin-type plastic gloves. I'm going to wear those in future.
Those are the ones you get at a petrol station, you're talking about?
No. They're quite loose. These are the ones that you buy, and they are actually proper medical gloves, you see what I mean?
Right.
And the stretcher, I'm going to wear those in future, and I don't care whether people laugh at me or not. I don't care.
Well, it'll certainly stop people wanting to shake hands with you, I suppose.
Good. I don't want to shake hands. In fact, what I'm going to do is...
But the other problem you're going to have is that when you do have a cold, for example, and you have germs, you need to wash all the bedding, you need to change your toothbrush, you need to change absolutely everything that has got any kind of scent, any kind of strain of any bacteria.
I'm happy to do that. I'm happy to...
But you'll become like an obsessive-compulsive type.
No, I'm happy to change my bedding every day. I've got a problem with that, and I don't care about getting a new toothbrush every day. Michael Jackson had the right idea. He had a phobia in germs.
Not many people have said that.
And the man who had the original phobia in germs and recognised it was Howard Hughes, the eccentric American billionaire.
Yes, that's right,
who invented Pan Am Airways, didn't he?
He invented the first massive plane, didn't he?
Yeah, first massive plane called the Grey Goose.
That's right.
It had like 10 engines or something like that. Spruce Goose.
Grey Goose is vodka.
Yeah, it is actually. Yeah, but I'm more used to that. I know. Now, I want you to get out your chair, Mike. Get out your chair for a minute.
Why am I getting out of the chair?
Because I want to show you something. I'm not going to shake hands. I'm going to meet knees in future.
No,
this is what
I'm not
doing
that.
Come on.
I'm not going to. Is that some kind of weird Freemasonry thing?
No, I'm going to meet a knee with you.
Yeah, that looks like something they do in the Freemasonry. Yeah, but I'm not going to do that.
Kneecaps.
No.
Come on.
Well, plus my knees are a lot higher than yours.
Well, don't be ridiculous.
I'd have to bend down.
Don't be ridiculous. Come on.
I'm not doing that.
I want you to kneecap with me.
No.
Come on, kneecap.
I'm not. No.
No, why
I'm not doing it because it's ridiculous.
Well, I'm not going to ever shake hands with you again, so you better get used to my kneecap,
I'm quite happy about that.
And by the way, when I say kneecap, I'm not talking about
sit down.
Sort of blowing your kneecaps off.
Turning to one of our live shows, which is don't sit down either.
Which is the traditional meaning of kneecap. I mean, kneecap in future should be an expression. You touch kneecaps. You know, I tell you who's got it right.
What about the old fist thing that they do in golf?
Well, no, because that's hand to hand and you're transmitting germs again.
Not so much, though. Because it's not the part of your hand that you tend to do anything with.
I'm going to be very, very careful in future. Now, also, look, I've discovered this tonight.
Are we going to talk about the FA Cup at any point, by the way?
Yes, we are going to talk about the FA Cup.
Your weird obsession with germs.
No, it's not my weird obsession with germs.
Tiger Woods has got a phobia of germs. It sounds like you've got the same thing.
I don't blame him. Howard Hughes used to wear tissue boxes on his feet. It was a very good idea. No, it was. It was a very good idea.
You're going to bring some of those in as well, then?
Well, why not? But listen...
Why don't you just get one of those, forensic suits?
Also, next time I see you, I'll be wearing a mask on my face. Yeah. Because doctors have discovered that you catch colds through your nose. When your nose gets to when your nose falls to 5 degrees centigrade, the temperature inside your nose falls to 5 degrees centigrade, the immune system does not work as well to fight the cold flu virus. 1 in 5 people carries rhinovirus. It's the most frequent rhinovirus, the most frequent cause of the common cold. In their nasal passages at any one time. The immune system then stops the virus taking hold.
I would have thought when it's colder, you actually have less chance of getting
as the temperature drops, so does the body's ability to fight the intrusive germs. So you wear a warm scarf over the nose, that stops the virus entering in the first place and will boost the ability to tackle it. So there you are. That's in future. You'll find me with a scarf wrapped around my nose. I'll be wearing tight plastic gloves. Excuse me.
Lucky if you make it into work.
Well, exactly.
People will be reporting you to the cops.
And I'm going to try and develop the kneecap greeting. Yeah. Because you tell me a better method than that. I mean, the Maori people go around rubbing noses with each other.
I thought it was Eskimos.
maybe it's the Eskimos as well. And I can't think of a worse way to transmit germs, because, I mean, your nose is like a filter for germs, you know? So I'm not into that at all. The kneecap, I think, is a good one. You know, there might be another. See, I thought of a method of turning round and doing a sort of, what they call that now, a twerk. A twerk.
No, I don't think
sort of
that.
greeting. But that might be seen to be a little bit sort of, what's the word I'm looking for?
Rude.
Yes, that's right, abusive or something like that, you know, and it's... I suppose if you flash your ass at somebody, they could get quite upset.
Yeah, and most people wouldn't wish to share that.
So I think we should redefine the word kneecap and make it a greeting,
instead of a part of the body?
A civilised greeting, because I just don't see any other way around us spreading millions and millions of germs to each other every day.
Yeah. Well, you could just not bother meeting anybody, which is what I do.
Well, I'm not opposed to that.
All right, hang on.
I don't need to make
Stop coughing.
Excuse me.
Take a deep breath. Look into the light for a moment. Hopefully, we'll be back with Mike Porky Parry if he recovers from this particular coughing fit. We are the two Mikes on TalkSport.
Just as sure as the stars in the sky, I need you to shine in my life. Not just for the meanwhile, for a long, long time. Better believe it. Whenever you're not in my presence, it feels like I'm missing my blessings, yeah.
Ring any bells with you, that?
That's, that's the old 1D crowd, isn't it?
1D?
Isn't it?
One Direction?
One Direction, yeah.
No, it's not, no. Do you want to have another guess?
It's one of those young guys, Justin Bieber.
Justin Bieber is correct, yeah.
There you go.
Well done. He's an Everton fan, apparently.
Yeah, I discovered that as well. That's pretty good news.
Does that make you happy or sad?
Pretty happy, really. Isn't he the world's most famous pop star?
Well, you might say that, yeah.
And is
pretty awful, though.
Well, that's subjective, mate. That's
no, it's not subjective. It's awful.
And
it's absolute
does
rubbish.
He tend to be a little sort of emotional at times with his fans and all this kind of stuff? Yeah,
he gets arrested every now and again for driving Lamborghinis too fast.
Yeah, but that's.
I mean, I'm not sure he's the sort of person that Bill Kenwright would welcome with open arms if he came to the the director's box.
Well, when you're genius, you have to have flaws, because a genius without flaws is not a genius, in my view. So
you think Justin Bieber's a genius, then?
Well, I'm not sure if he's a genius, but he's certainly very successessel, and success brings its own pressures. You wouldn't know about that, Mike, but I do.
Well, I don't claim to be a genius.
I'm
just cleverer than you are.
But you don't know anything about being successful.
How about this? Is this Porky's new suit? I'm just retweeting that. Somebody's sent out
that's a fat suit.
A very amusing picture.
No, that's not amusing.
In a fat
that's
suit.
Amusing. That's just offensive.
How about this? Darren in Shoreditch has texted in. He says, if Porky says we can't shake hands, what do you do at a job interview when you have to shake hands?
Don't shake hands.
Well, you can't do that if you're at a job interview, because people would say, well, if you're not even willing to shake hands with us, there's some kind of weirdness going on.
No, you just say, excuse me, I prefer not to shake hands, please. I'm very aware of the fact that the cleanest human being on the planet can still generate 100 million germs in one shake of a hand. And in this day and age when we're all so subject, I mean, it's literally an epidemic, pandemic, call it what you will, but everybody I know's got the flu or a cold.
Well, I haven't.
But you have had.
Well,
you have had.
Actually, I've not had the flu.
Rubbish.
No.
Why were you telling me, I've got the lurgy and going back to bed every day for about a week?
No, this was
just before Christmas.
We had a conversation about this the other day.
Yeah.
I did not say that.
Yes,
I did when you had your worst bout of it. Yes, I wasn't feeling particularly well. But when you have flu, you literally can't get out of bed. You can't do anything else. So you haven't got flu. I know about that, mate. You haven't got flu, otherwise you wouldn't be here.
I know about that, mate. Only 1/3 of my heart works, right?
You mentioned
that makes me particularly vulnerable to all these sort of illnesses. I'm in an
I think you're turning into a bit of a crank.
Extremely vulnerable situation, and I have to be very, very... I tell you what, I did find it started to work for me, Beecham's powders.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I've tried...
What do you think they do?
Well, I've tried Lemsip for years, and it just doesn't work for me. I'm sure it's a very good medicine for people, and sure it's got great medicinal properties and all that. Doesn't work for me.
Well, it doesn't work if you've got anything terribly badly wrong with you.
So anyway, one of my sisters said, well, have you tried Beecham's powders? So I took a double dose of Beecham's powders, and I felt instantly better for the first time in a week, you know. Thought, that's good. So I take another double dose of Beecham's powders.
So what do you do? Do you put them in water?
Well, do you know the amazing thing?
Soluble.
Do you know the amazing thing about them is that I remember as a kid, they used to come in a wrap of, like, rice paper, you know, and you undid it and you poured it into a glass. They're still like that to this day. Yeah. Amazing, that. Absolutely amazing.
Well, it's not really rice paper, is it?
It's sort of rice paper,
is it?
Like, yeah. But the amazing thing is, it's so old-fashioned. It's a bit like getting a bag of crisps and finding a little packet of salt wrapped up in a
or sherbet or something.
No. You used to get crisps and used to be a little bundle of blue paper.
They did that for a while, didn't they?
Yeah, which had salt in it. Yeah, salt and shake and all that kind of stuff.
That was one of those great marketing things that didn't work very well, right?
Well, when I was a kid, that's all you did have. I mean, they didn't. Yeah, it wasn't like a gimmick or anything like that. When you bought a packet of crisps, and in the bottom of the packet of crisps,
I thought they brought it in because they just thought.
No. There was a little twist of blue paper, and within that was the salt, and then and it did taste better because you could put the salt where you want.
Do you ever take any of those? You know, when you go into, say, a fast food place, or heaven forbid, a place that would have salt and pepper, in little sachets.
Yes.
Because remember, you told me you used to take a lot of napkins from various places.
Yes.
Do you take salt and pepper as well?
No, I
Why not?
Why would I take them? What would I do with them?
Well, you keep them at home.
No, why would I do that? I've got salt containers at home. I've got salt cellars and pepper pots and things like that. Nice,
Have you got a pepper grinder?
I've got a pepper grinder, I've got a pepper grinder.
A salt grinder?
I've got a salt grinder.
So you have to buy rock salt then?
I buy rock salt sometimes, yeah, sometimes. But I've also got 3 or 4 different salt shakers. About 6 pepper shakers.
Why?
Well, I've got fine ground pepper, coarse ground pepper.
Why would you have all those?
Because
I think you were some kind of gourmand.
No, I like different bits of pepper.
Different kinds of pepper?
Different kinds of pepper. I put...
so, for example, what would you use the fine ground pepper on?
To put on my ham and cheese sandwiches.
Ham and cheese sandwiches?
Yeah, I make ham and cheese sandwiches. Right. I like ham and cheese sandwiches.
What kind of cheese?
Mild cheddar.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mild
cheddar. Do you buy
cheddar.
The slices or do you buy the block?
I buy the slices.
Ah.
Mild cheddar. And the ham has to be Wiltshire honey roast cured breaded.
Does it?
Yes.
Right.
That's what I like, All
right.
And I cut all that and put it on exquisitely fresh bread.
You buy white plastic bread.
No. Exquisitely fresh bread from my local baker. And I make these great sandwiches. And then I put the fine ground. Now, the coarse ground... That goes on my spaghetti bolognese, pizza, and that kind of stuff, And the sort of pepper that I need for roasts and that sort of stuff is a different sort of pepper again.
Really?
Yes, it is, yeah.
Interesting. So, now, there was a story I wanted to bring to your attention, which I saw earlier on today.
Right.
About brown sauce. I don't know if you saw it. I tweeted it out a little bit earlier on. The brown sauce. HP sauce.
Brown sugar. Your mama said
why are you singing brown sugar?
Because that was the Rolling Stones song. Anyway,
it's
sorry.
nothing to do with brown sauce.
No, it's not. Yeah, go on. Yeah.
No, it wasn't brown sauce. It was brown sugar.
Yeah.
Apparently there's a shortage, not shortage, but people are buying less brown sauce.
Decline.
Because they're making more use of different kind of, cooking technology.
Yeah, I know.
They're eating the kind of food that doesn't have brown sauce on it.
Terribly sad,
Are you a brown sauce person?
Very much so. Love brown sauce.
Do you?
And, in fact, I think you'll find that Harold Wilson, who was a brilliant self-promoter, I mean, Harold Wilson was a brilliant man. He got a tripos at Cambridge.
A what?
A tripos.
What's a tripos?
That means a first-class honours degree in 3 different subjects.
So sure that's what it's called?
Yeah, if it was politics, philosophy and economics, he'd get a first in all 3 papers and that kind of stuff,
You see somebody put out a tweet earlier on saying that they'd found my double and it was Michael Gove.
Oh, let's have a look.
Did you see that picture?
Yeah, I think that's pretty close. I saw that. Yeah, I think it's pretty close, yeah.
Mm.
I think your face is much fatter than his, obviously. but there is a resemblance there in the bone structure. But anyway, getting back to HP Sauce, Harold Wilson... who famously, painted this image of the boy from Huddersfield Grammar School who, went on to Cambridge University, became a politician, then became Prime Minister. He improved his image by getting his wife to say in one interview, Harold bathes all his food in HP sauce.
I can tell you exactly what his wife said in the interview. She said, if Harold has a fault, it is that he will drown everything with HP sauce.
There you go. See?
And do you know who it was made by?
It's made by... HP sauce was made by... Originally, well...
It was made by Nottingham Grocer. So you should know that because you went to Nottingham Poly, didn't you?
No, I didn't. I went to the University of the Trent.
Right. Gibson Garton, his name is.
Gibson Garton, what a funny name.
And he changed it to HP sauce. It didn't used to be called that because there are other brown sauces. There's one called Daddy's.
We all know about Daddy's. We called it HP because it represented Houses of Parliament.
Yeah, but that was after the Wilson intervention, as it were.
No, it wasn't. No, it was called HP before Wilson.
And there's also OK sauce as well.
OK sauce, I've heard about that,
Which is made in Norfolk.
What's the equivalent in America? I'm just trying to remember.
They haven't really got it. They have barbecue sauce over there.
No, don't they have a Daddy's, though? I'm sure they have a Daddy's.
No, they don't.
I'm sure
they've got that one. They've got A1 steak sauce that people
A1
like
steak
to use a lot.
sauce, yeah.
And they've got sort of barbecue sauce, but they haven't got this stuff. Apparently, here's the figures, right? 13 million kilos were was sold in 2014.
Right.
16 million kilos sold in 2013.
Yeah.
So they've lost quite a significant share of the market.
I suppose it's younger people not taking up on it, aren't you?
Yeah, maybe. I wasn't really a fan of brown sauce until I went to live in Edinburgh. And when I went to live in Edinburgh, they eat it much more there than anywhere else. Yeah. So bacon sandwich with brown sauce, very good.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of tomato sauce, except for hot pork pies. With hot pork pies, I like fresh bread and tomato sauce. But I don't like tomato sauce on chips, for instance. I think just
no, I don't really know.
Or fish. I don't know why people put tomato sauce on fish and chips. Don't like it. Horrible. I totally agree.
It's too sweet.
Too sweet.
Now, listen, we've got loads to talk about because we've got to talk about Liverpool.
Yeah.
We talked about Steven Gerrard a little bit last week. Nothing much has really changed as far as that's concerned. However, there's still a lot of unrest about why he's going and why he's not being kept back.
I don't understand why everybody's saying, something mysterious going on in the background. We all know what's going on. We all know that, Jamie Carragher summed it up in his column in the Daily Mail, I think on Saturday morning. Yeah. That was the morning after he made the announcement. He said, look, even the best player of the club needs reassuring sometimes of his worth, needs telling that, his contribution is enormous and that he's a priceless asset. And once that stops and you start to question, your relationship with the club, then it can be very difficult. And the interesting thing about the game last night, Mate, is that...
It was talked up to a ridiculous extent.
Well, no, I don't mind that. But what I'm saying is, once again, Steven Gerrard was the difference between Liverpool winning and losing that game.
Well, exactly.
He scored both goals.
Yeah.
Excuse me. The second one by a trademark Steven Gerrard free kick, which would have gone in against any club, not just Wimbledon.
Yeah.
First one was a header because he got himself in the right position. It
was one of the kind of goals he scored for England, isn't it?
Exactly, because he knew exactly where to lie in wait just off the edge of the area and that kind of stuff, And Liverpool don't think he's going to be an asset to them next season. If they had thought that, they'd have tried a bit harder to keep him, I suppose. So it's a conundrum. Who's going to do all that when Gerrard goes?
I know. Well,
Who's going to do all that?
I don't think they've got anyone. Yeah. We're also going to talk about Everton as well because they're playing West Ham tonight. I don't think it's going to be good for them. But
there's an awful lot of speculation in this morning's papers about what's gone on at Everton, what's gone wrong at Everton, why is it all sort of gone to hell and all that kind of stuff. And it is an interesting question actually. And I put it down to second seasonitis. I have every faith in Roberto Martinez because the chairman, Mr. Kenwright, appointed him.
Have you seen the time, by the way?
And he's made few mistakes in his control of Everton over the years.
Look at the time. Look into the light for a second.
I've seen the time. I've seen the time.
You're supposed to give me a present as well. You keep banging on about.
Well, I'm going to give these presents to you now.
All right, OK. Well, don't give them to me now. We'll do them in a moment. This is TalkSport. We are the two mics. Loads more to come.
I got jaws like a bear trap, teeth like a razor, got a Maytag tongue with a sensitive taste. I'm born out in Texas, called the land of beef. Ever catching mustard green and showing the hell like a meat and the meat man. Hey, oh, to see me eat now. Hey, girl, I'm the meat man. Go to see me eat now. I went down to Macon, Georgia, and I ate the buzz off a Georgia peach. I done plucked me a chicken in Memphis, mama. I still
This is TalkSport Extra Time. I'm Mike Graham. Very rarely have I ever found myself speechless, Mr. Parry, but what you've just handed me for Christmas... It's unbelievable. I'm absolutely shocked. Let me just tell people what you gave me. You've given me for my kids one of these kind of Christmas stockings full of 6 bars of chocolate, which you told me in the back of your car.
Well,
right?
that's not quite right.
Because it was something that
you
bought.
Not quite right.
And you've then given me a load of sausages.
Yes.
Which have got third prize written on them.
Well, I'm sorry about that. I was trying to fool you there. Look, I think you're terribly ungrateful. How many other people of your acquaintance have bought your children a Christmas present?
Lots of people buy their kids Christmas presents.
Rubbish.
But that's not a Christmas present. You can't give children... I mean, apart from the fact that chocolate is all around at Christmas anyway, and they've had their fill of chocolate, I wouldn't give them any more chocolate. You don't give, 2 kids one present. You don't seem to get this. But you give the 2 children one present.
It's a selection box. It's got 6 different chocky bars in it. Yeah. So I thought divide it up.
I'm going to eat them here. I'm not going to. I wouldn't even embarrass
them by taking children's Christmas presents.
I'll eat the chocolate here.
Stealing your children's Christmas. You despicable man. And by the way,
I don't even know if you bought it. Though. Somebody probably gave it to you, and you're now handing it over to me. No. I'm far more interested in the sausages. To be honest.
Well, the sausages are. Look, I was going to say I got them for you from a special butcher. In fact, I have to admit, I hold my hands up. Okay, a little bit. But I was still thinking of you when I gave them to you.
You were thinking of me. By the way, because we actually, I couldn't believe what was going to go on. I had our producer film the exercise of you handing me these ridiculous presents.
Yes.
So it's out there on Twitter now at the two mics.
Well, people can see the contempt with which I hold you for your really miserable reaction to the presents. Now, on the sausages, OK, Look, they're special sausages, but I do admit that yesterday, on the way back from the coast, I did call into a Surrey country pub, I have to admit.
As you always do.
Yeah, just for a bit of lunch, And I did enter the meat raffle. I bought... What are you laughing at?
Why would you enter a meat raffle?
Well, some fella come round. Said,
meat raffles are for people who are unfortunate enough not to be able to afford to buy decent cuts of meat.
Is that right?
And so therefore they enter a raffle, and therefore at the end of if they win it, they get to have a big joint of lamb or beef or something.
No, there's a charitable aspect to it.
Who wins half a dozen sausages in a meat raffle?
No, it's not half a dozen. There were 10,
how many is it?
I've given you 10 sausages.
10?
Now,
well, I can't use them anyway.
Well, why not?
Because my other half's a vegetarian, for Christ's sake.
Who is?
The mother of my children is a vegetarian.
Well, you're not a vegetarian.
No, I'm not.
You could eat
them. I can
them.
hardly go, look, I brought you some sausages, can I?
Well, hang on. Don't your boys eat sausages?
Well, they do, yeah.
We'll give them some for Christmas as well.
Oh, so I say, have some of these as well.
Yeah,
some
exactly.
cast-offs from Porky
No,
Parry.
they're not cast-offs. Look.
I don't even know where they've come from. I wouldn't eat sausages I didn't know where they come from.
They've come from
a pub.
No, they've come from a very reputable local butcher.
Well, how did you get them?
I'm just about to tell you. So the fella comes down and says, do you want to enter the meat raffle? And I said, how much is the ticket? He said, £2. I said, give me 5 tickets, £10, right?
Yeah.
And I said, what's the prize? That was after I bought the tickets. He said, there's a huge joint of beef and a huge joint of lamb. And anyway, just as I was... Excuse me.
I'm not sure you're going to make it through the show.
Neither am I. Just as I was about to leave...
Would you like some Lemsip?
No, thank you. No. Just as I was about to leave... All of a sudden, I was out in the car park and chap came round.
How much did you spend on these raffle tickets?
£10. £10.
Well, you can buy sausages for less than that.
Well, no, you do. But it's some charitable aspect to it,
So these are £1 a sausage, these are costing you?
Yes, that's right. So anyway, the chap comes and said, Mr. Parry, and I said, yeah. I said,
Did he shake hands with you?
No, didn't shake hands with me, no. He said, you won third prize in the raffle. I said, oh, great. I said, what is that?
How long was this after you bought them?
Oh, half an hour. He said...
That's a quick raffle.
Well, no, they'd been selling tickets for 2 hours before I got there.
Okay.
See, I got there right towards the end.
Did they actually hold the raffle while you were there, then?
Yes, but I wasn't aware of them holding the raffle. Right. I didn't know what was going on. So anyway...
No surprise there. You've been in a pub for about 2 hours.
No, I hadn't. No. It was one quick point, honestly. So I said, oh, great, what have I won? And they said the sausages. Oh, brilliant, and they gave me the pack of sausages.
So they just handed you a pack of sausages?
No, it's not a pack. You'll see.
It's a pack of sausages.
And our listeners will see in the video. Anyway, I thought, well...
So you who are a man who doesn't like to take... If anybody sends you anything to eat in the office, you tend not to go anywhere near it in case they've poisoned it. When that guy sent in the cherry juice, right, that was going to help your gout, you refused to drink it on the grounds that you wanted to check to see whether there were any puncture marks in it where someone might have poisoned it.
Well...
You have now accepted 10 sausages from someone you never met before and palmed them to me on the basis that that's going to be fine.
Well, I'm not going to eat them because I thought, well, it would be selfish, so I thought I'd give them to you.
No. Well, I mean...
I'm sorry I still have the sticker on third prize, and I was going to take that off and then tell you that I bought them from a specialist butcher. But they did come from a specialist butcher.
You don't buy people sausages for Christmas.
Why not?
Ridiculous.
Why not? It's different. It's different, and it's, in my view, shows a bit of thought.
Well, it would be different. Well, no, it would be different if you'd actually bought them. Would you mind not coughing all over the place?
I'm
that's
sorry.
How germs are spread. Don't wear a mask.
No. This is another thing.
Wear a helmet.
This is another thing, the doctors told me, right? They said, when you see these filthy people who, when they sneeze into their hands...
You've just coughed into your arm.
I have not.
I've just watched you do it.
No, rubbish. What you saw me do was pull out... I've got loads of tissues.
Are these the ones covered in ethanol?
Yes, covered in ethanol, these tissues, and I put them round my face like this. So I've now got it round my face.
Yeah.
So it's covering my nose. That's why you can't hear me properly. And what happens is that negates everything. But what the doctors told me, they said, if you see these people on public transport like that, and they think, they'll cover their sneeze by sneezing into their hands, they said, they've probably got 200 million germs on their hands then. That means they will infect dozens of people that day with that filthy habit. He said, you never sneeze into your hands. You should carry tissues, you should carry a handkerchief, you should wear gloves.
Handkerchiefs are a bit passé now, aren't they? I mean, you don't know anyone that carries a handkerchief, do you? Apart from really old people.
I carry handkerchiefs when I go out formally. If we go to a football match or something like that.
But then you say you collect all the germs and carry them around with you.
No, you don't do that. No.
What do you use a handkerchief for?
You use a handkerchief sort of in formal circumstances.
Formal.
But I do, of course, take balsam-impregnated tissues with me everywhere.
Hey?
Right?
Balsam.
I don't know. They're called balsam impregnated tissues.
You don't know what they are?
Well, I think they're designed to not make your nose sore.
Something to do with balsamic vinegar?
No. I think they're designed not to make your nose sore when you wipe your nose a lot. You know what I mean? If you've got a cold.
Well, if you've got ethanol on them, that's not going to help, is it?
I'm not sure about that, you know.
You don't really know what you're talking about, do you?
Well, I do get a little confused with the chemical symbols related to all these particular bits and pieces, you know, all these particular chemicals.
Is it like a sort of aloe vera type thing?
Yeah, aloe vera. It's a bit like that. It is honestly a bit like that, yeah. And that eases the friction between tissue and tissue. But the second tissue...
One of the most ill people I've ever come across.
The second tissue is human tissue.
Right.
See? Human tissue. You've got to be very careful with human tissue.
Can we move off this subject
delicate
now? Because I've been talking about your cold now for far too long.
Yeah, sure.
Instead, before we take a little sojourn away for a moment, let me ask you, on Thursday, we've had 2 nominations. You've nominated 2 things that you want to be quizzed on, right?
No,
And yes, you have.
Oh, yeah.
Last week, you said you were a tomato expert and you want to be quizzed on tomatoes, right?
Rubbish.
You also said that you were an expert on modern 20th century British literature.
Yes.
So which one of those 2 would you like a quiz on?
Well, I think the literature one, obviously. It's more cerebral. Don't know, I can have a quiz on tomatoes.
I can give you a quiz on tomatoes.
All right, well, I don't mind. I'll have literature this week, tomatoes next week. OK, how's that?
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Sort out a couple of subjects, doesn't it?
Which one would you say you're more of an expert in?
I would say that I have a fine understanding and knowledge of both those subjects. And why are you putting out silly videos of me giving you these presents for Christmas?
Because I told you we were going to put the video out because I wanted Dave to actually record you handing me some ridiculously old chocolate that you found in the boot of your car that you claim is good for my kids.
No, that's very unkind.
And some sausages.
From
a complete stranger from whom you've never bought any food before.
No, this was a very high-class pub in a village with a very high-class butcher, an award-winning butcher, right, who donated them to the meat raffle because...
Meat raffle?
Yeah, because...
I don't know what on earth you're doing taking part in a meat raffle. Why didn't you just give them some money and then not bother with the tickets?
Because that's not the spirit of things, is it? You've got to join in and all this kind of stuff.
What was the main prize?
Main prize was a side of beef.
A side of beef?
Yes.
Well, I'm glad you didn't bring that into the office.
Well...
Thank goodness you didn't win it.
I think it was a pretty big side of beef, so I'm not sure that would have been practical. But anyway, look, I show you the milk of human kindness. You throw it back in my face. It's no wonder that you and I sometimes have relationship problems. I tell you, Mike, sometimes. I mean, when was the last time you gave me anything?
Last Christmas, I gave my present to you was so that you could listen because we make fun of you all year. You could listen to me making an idiot of myself on all the clips where I got things wrong. That was my present to you.
What was?
You don't remember that, do you?
No.
You can't remember Christmas Day, can you?
What are you talking about?
That was the Christmas Day show that we did.
Christmas Day.
You don't remember,
Christmas
do you?
Day, yes, of course I do.
Yeah, of course
yes,
your memory
yes,
doesn't go back that far. It's clouded by all the various medicine.
But look, we should be talking football. You're absolutely right. Because,
we can't now because you've used up all the time.
No, listen, I'll tell you that I'm going to talk to you about tonight.
Well, you know what we've got to do, winners and losers in a minute. You against Toby Gillies.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What, in this hour?
In the next. Have you not got any winners and losers?
Yeah.
You haven't come unprepared, have you?
No. But we've got to talk about obesity. There are more and more serious issues surrounding obesity. They're giving away gastric bands now, like as if they were, I don't know,
Sweets.
No, they give away gastric bands now with as much regularity as they used to give away corn plasters. I'm telling you.
Really?
It is that serious.
I didn't know they ever did give away corn plasters.
It is that serious, I'm telling you. It is that serious. It's a national epidemic. There's plenty of epidemics going around at the moment. That's one of them, believe me.
Here's a couple of tweets and texts for you.
Yep.
Here's one from Derek in Pencoeth in South Wales. Porky says he will never shake hands again, but ask if he can touch kneecaps. Would he try and do that if he was to meet the parents of the future Mrs. Parry?
Well, I would, I would.
They'd certainly not think that was weird, would they, at all?
What?
Perhaps you could touch knees with them and then hand them 10 sausages and go, I would like to marry your daughter. That'd go down really well.
Trouble with you is, Mike, you're all about image. If I was absolutely honest with people, so I don't shake hands with people anymore because it spreads germs.
Yeah, they'd think you were weird.
Therefore, I'll touch kneecaps with you.
Yeah.
They would probably appreciate that.
Really?
I bet you there's plenty of people who don't want to shake hands with me for the same reasons.
There's loads of people who don't want to shake hands with me. I'm one of them. This is Talk Sport.
It's not very nice.
This is Talk Sport Extra Time. We are the two Mikes, and of course it is that time of the week when Toby Gillis joins us to have a look at the winners and the losers of the weekend. I suppose you might say the losers are all those people who don't get to shake hands with Mike Parry anymore. But Toby...
I'd say they're winners.
Toby has been moaning about being stitched up for the last 2 weeks, so we thought we'd better give him another opportunity.
Yeah, good idea.
I will, of course, judge the final round. But Toby, why don't we let you go first, and you give us your first 3 losers of the weekend.
OK, well, my first loser of the weekend, by some distance, is Phil the Power Taylor.
Yes.
Massive loser. Not only did he just lose that final, but his career is over. Listen to this record. 1 world title in the last 5 years. Now, obviously, for any other player, that's still decent. But this is Phil the Power Taylor. Sunday night.
His middle name, maybe.
Well, possibly, yeah. Sunday night proved, when he lost that final, that even if the talent is still there, his head is now gone. And that is far more difficult to get back than a little bit of form. He missed countless doubles, admitting that it had gone to his head, including at one point 6 darts at a 8-8, which he lost the leg in. He's gone. He's no more. He's going to get no more world titles, and I think he should retire. Definite loser of the weekend.
All right.
My next loser of the weekend is very, very simple. The FA Cup 3rd round. It used to be the great weekend of the season for many.
It did. Funnily enough, Mike and I were talking about this just the other day, and how actually the darts was a bit more exciting than the FA Cup.
Far more exciting. Far more exciting. The romance is dead. Literally. Not one shock of note. And to make matters worse, they've spread it out over 5 days.
I know, that's awful.
Friday to Tuesday.
Everton playing tonight.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
Mad.
Spoiled by the FA and spoiled by the fact that, none of these little teams are getting anywhere close. The gap is getting bigger and bigger, even if they do put in, quote, brave performances.
I mean, that game
like
last night was exciting for about 20 minutes or so, wasn't
it? Ridiculous. You seem to be agreeing with me. Maybe I've got a chance this week.
Maybe.
My final one, Everton.
Everton. Losers of the week.
Well, the club is in dire straits.
Hang on, excuse me. Everton haven't played their FA Cup 3rd round tie
yet.
Yeah, but that's taking place tonight, though.
What a ridiculous...
That's already in the middle of the next week.
If you listen to me, you'll hear that my reason...
Ridiculously presumptuous and, in my view, misplaced nomination.
If you have a little patience... and a little decorum, and you listen for a few moments, Mr. Parry, you'll realise that it's not because of what's happening on the pitch.
What am I going to learn listening to you?
While the club is in dire straits on the pitch, and I think everybody would agree with that on relative terms, things this weekend went from bad to worse. Now, you have already discussed this. Forget on the pitch. They also now, off the pitch, have a new celebrity fan. It is one of the most annoying little, I don't even know what word I can possibly use, you can think of. I can't think of anyone I find more annoying than Justin Bieber. And he has been spotted wearing his Everton shirt. And I'll tell you what, I reckon there'll be more people find you annoying.
You're going to now go out and buy Justin Bieber's greatest hits, aren't you?
Yeah. Well,
to go along with the Demis Roussos collection.
You're as big a loser as Everton, but their fans have just got wholly worse by the fact that Justin Bieber is one of them.
Utter nonsense.
Now, Mr. Parry, would you like to give us your 3 losers of the weekend?
Right, OK, the biggest losers of the weekend... Go on. The owners of the Bentleys and the Rolls-Royces inside that ship that's keeled over at 45 degrees on the sandbank in the Solent.
Over 50 degrees, isn't it now?
Yeah, over 50 degrees.
Is that what's inside?
It's full of Bentleys and Rolls-Royces.
Oh, I thought it was coming in.
No.
Going out?
No, it's going out to Bremen.
Oh, God.
And from Bremen, they were all to be transported to the Middle East.
Right.
They reckon there could be up to £50 million worth of cars aboard that ship.
That's unbelievable.
No concern about the crew on board, of course, who have got off very safely and isn't that great. You're just worried about those rich men in the Middle East have lost their cars.
The crew have got off safe, man.
Yeah, but these guys will get their cars eventually.
No, they won't. The cars are probably damaged because
but there'll be more cars.
Over. Well, I don't care. That's a hell of a lot of cars to lose.
It's much better that these people have been safely rescued.
No. The owners of these cars, who are elitist people in the world because they can afford those sort of cars...
Yeah, but they're not losers because
have to wait another
that doesn't make
weeks,
them losers.
if months. I'm sorry, but of course they're losers.
Yeah, stop interrupting. He didn't interrupt you. I'm going to have to tell you. I'm going to have to give you a public warning. You can lose points on this.
In fairness, that did used to be the way that this... have the rules changed? Because nobody's explained the rules have changed. This used to be a debate, winners and losers. Is it not anymore?
You can debate speak with somebody without interrupting them.
Of course you can. If you're hanging around...
If I have to, I'll tell you when to speak.
I think you'll find this is double standards again, because he did interrupt me when I was talking about Everton.
This is not for you to say what the standard should be.
But how come he got away with interrupting me?
Stop complaining, or else we'll have to shut the mic off.
Exactly.
Mr. Parry, come on.
Now, if you're waiting for an elitist car and it doesn't arrive, you're a loser. Now, the second big loser, Jordan Henderson.
Oh, yeah.
Well, because when Stevie G goes at the end of this season, he's going to inherit the mantle of captain of Liverpool.
You said it's a poison chalice.
Why does that make him a loser?
Worst poison in the world, because he's going to be compared to Steven Gerrard for the next 3 or 4 years, and the boy is simply not up to that comparison.
So is this the David Moyes, Sir Alex Ferguson thing all over again?
It's something similar to that, except for the fact that, where Steven Gerrard has single-handedly dragged Liverpool through the last 15 seasons, Henderson can't do that, and he can't inspire in the way that Steven Gerrard did, because he's not as good a footballer, nor does he have the character and sole purpose of mind that he wants to devote himself to Liverpool Football Club.
Are you not judging him before the event?
No, I'm not judging him before the event. No, not at all.
You might as well. You could have said that about David Moyes as well, that David Moyes was unfortunate to get the job after Sir Alex Ferguson. Even before he did it, everybody knew it wasn't going to work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but he didn't naturally succeed. He went to the job. Henderson is the natural successor because he's the vice-captain of Liverpool.
Yeah.
And the third loser...
what's your third one?
Well, you said the FA Cup third round. Yeah. I say the FA Cup because it looks almost certainly now the competition is going to be played this season without a sponsor. The FA have been unable to find a sponsor for the competition this season. That, to me, is a losing position.
Yeah, that's not
good.
It's
a loss for the FA, but surely not for the FA Cup itself. None of the fans care about that.
Oh, yes, they do. Because if the FA Cup is not sponsored, then its prestige value in the world of football competitions sinks abysmally.
And presumably, does that also mean that people won't pay so much money to actually put it on TV? Because,
exactly.
The sponsors' money won't be there. It could
exactly.
be a slippery slope.
If you were the head of any big business at the moment, would you sponsor a competition that's had no surprises and very few dramatic matches?
Well, you didn't know there were no surprises before the third round took place. Yeah, you see.
Yeah. There's a reason,
well, I think both of you are heading in the same direction here with the FA Cup, and I'm going to say that you're going to have to split the losers' award.
I don't like sharing winning awards.
Yeah, you're going to share.
Give it to me then. About time I got one.
Listen to the pair of you. I mean, it's absolutely pathetic. This. I'm going to give you half a point each. There's still the winners to come.
My first ever half.
I don't want to share
you got
success.
A half last week. You see, this is how bitter you are. You don't remember you got half a point.
What
last
did I
week.
get half a point?
You got half a point last
week
for Chelsea, I think it was.
I don't want to share my success with a bum.
Well, you're sharing failure with a bum because you're both losers. You get half a point each.
I don't want to be described as a bum.
Let's do the winners next.
Everyone's a winner, baby. That's no lie. That's no lie. You never fail to satisfy.
By coincidence, by the way, I just noted a few down this week. I had Jimmy Bullard down as a loser this week. Did you see his outfit on Match of the Day? What on earth was he wearing?
I didn't want to nominate him because I didn't want to recognise him for the appalling way he turned up on that show.
I know. Absolutely incredible. Even Alan Shearer looked well dressed next to him.
Yeah, he did.
Which is saying something.
Well, Alan Shearer had a tie on for some reason.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, well, I think he realised how ridiculous Bullard looked. So he thought maybe I'll put a tie on and make him look even more ridiculous. Mr. Parry, you could go first with your winners of the weekend.
OK. Now, I've got 3 outstanding winners here. Okay. I can't possibly fail to win this. The first one, because you boys touched on it, but of course you missed the obvious. First big one is Barry Hearn. Because Barry Hearn managed to elevate darts, the game of darts, over football on the weekend of the FA Cup third round. Astonishing achievement. I mean, when I saw him on telly last night, prior to the final taking place with Phil Taylor and the guy who won it, what's his name?
What is his name?
What is his name? The Scotsman.
Yeah, the Scotsman.
He was a Scotsman.
His name was Gary Anderson.
Gary Anderson, that's the guy. Yeah. Then, of course, you thought
sports broadcaster.
Yeah, exactly.
He doesn't call himself a sports broadcaster.
And you then thought to yourself, "Wow, this sounds and looks more exciting than the FA Cup games that we've seen this weekend." So it's Barry here first. Number 2.
He didn't make it exciting.
You've got to stop interrupting you. Are we going to take points?
I wasn't.
He set it all up.
I could debate once he'd finished the point.
He set it all up. He set it all up.
He was moving on to another
one.
Right,
the second one, Andy Carroll. And the reason is Andy Carroll is not ashamed at all to show us all pictures of his £5 million house, which has got chintzy furniture.
Yeah, it's awful, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got mirrors on the ceiling of his bedrooms and all that kind of stuff. It's got pink walls. It's got, almost zebra-like type couches and all that. But most of all, a man from my own heart, 20 pairs of slippers at the door of his mansion so that when people come in, they have to take off their shoes and put a pair of slippers on, which is exactly what you have to do at Porky Towers if you come to my house.
Except you haven't got them for anybody else because nobody ever comes around due to your incredible security gate.
No.
Are you not worried about the germs that someone might bring into your house?
Of course I am. That's why they take their shoes off and leave them outside. And I give them a pair of slippers, which nobody's ever worn before, and they go, I burn the slippers. And it's just as simple as that.
You're
And the third one...
not worried about spoiling the environment with the fire.
Third one is Mrs. Julie Neville. She's the wife of Phil Neville.
Oh, yeah.
It was revealed this week Phil Neville had to make a cup of coffee for the first time in his 37 years of existence.
Oh, yes.
OK? And to have a husband who is that little house-trained, I think, is great credit to Julie Neville, who has clearly been a magnificent mother and wife in that household.
OK. Mr. Toby Gillies, your turn for your third.
I have a feeling we might be about to get this split again.
Really?
Because I've got a coffee-related one as well that's very different. And I'm saying coffee in sport. Because I don't know if you saw what happened with...
What a ridiculous nomination.
It's a great winner. I don't know if you saw what happened to Serena Williams in the Hopman Cup over the weekend.
It's an amorphous object coffee. Doesn't have brains and think.
Doesn't mean it's not a winner.
You can't interrupt him now because he didn't interrupt you.
Serena Williams in the Hopman Cup was 5-love down in the first set against Flavia Pennetta. It's the season opener where you get men and women playing together for their countries at the start of the tennis season. Well, that's your loss. Serena Williams, 5-love down.
Missed it. Who won it then?
5-love down.
Who won
in
the
Hoffman
Hoffman Cup or whatever it's called?
Well, you play various different rounds and it's over the course of the week. So this was the first round, America against Italy.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Serena Williams, I'll start yet again.
I missed it.
5-love down in the first set of her singles match against Flavia Pennetta. And she decided that she needed a double espresso to help herself perk up. She did admit that she wasn't sure if it was legal and asked the umpire, and the umpire said, yes, it's fine. Once it took hold, she won the next two sets, 6-3, 6-love, smashed her out of sight, helped the US win the tie, and on they go in the Hopman Cup.
What was in the coffee, I wonder?
Well, it was pure. We saw it come on. It was purely espresso.
Oh, sure, of course.
The next winner is discipline for idiot footballers. And we've seen lots of idiot footballers over the past, but I'm sure you've now heard that Arsenal have fined Wojciech Szczesny £20,000 for smoking in the shower after losing 2-0 to Southampton.
It's quite hard to do that, smoking
in the shower. It is quite hard to do,
well, yes. Should give him a prize.
But he's still an idiot.
Maybe some sausages.
It was a game in which he'd already had an absolute nightmare. They lost 2-0, and good on Arsenal for finally showing their players who's boss. My final one...
Porky's starting to keel over with the boredom here. Why are you looking so bored? You're supposed to be engaging in
Yeah, because he's no competition. I think he's a mental pygmy.
Can we have your third nomination, please?
My final one, definitely not a mental pygmy, is David Moyes. Showing once again that he's Barcelona. A football genius with a very average, at least on paper, Real Sociedad side. They beat Barcelona by 1-0. Absolutely brilliant. David Moyes is back. What a winner.
Drivel.
Well, you know what? I can't decide this week because I'm beginning to think...
Completely indecisive.
Because you've both got... No, hang on. Because you've both got...
it's obvious who's the intellectual here, the academic.
And it's not either of you two,
and
I can tell you.
The numpty plank on the other side of the desk.
Now, listen, we've got very little time here, so if you interrupt me anymore, I'll have to deduct points from you as well. Now, I say as well, because that's the clue. What's going to happen here is I'm going to give you another half a point each and share the coffee prize, which technically means that you've actually split the vote altogether and you've shared the prize. However, we can't do that, and because of Toby's really, really awful interruptions of earlier on, I'm going to have to take half a point away from him.
There's a surprise.
Which means that Mike Parry's won.
And
once
there
again,
goes the sucking up once more.
So 3-0 so far, but we'll give you another go next week.
3-0, 3-0.
We'll give you another go next week, because you did say at the top of the show that you persevere, and we love somebody who perseveres.
I know that you're a suck-up. So, it's quite simple.
So you're going to have to come up with a better word than that, otherwise we'll dump it. But
what with you is, Toby, you only got 3 wheels on your wagon, pal.
It's a tricycle. Good morning, I'm Mike Graham, he's Mike Parry. You're listening to the two Mikes on Talk Sports Extra Time. We've got loads more to do. Coming up in this hour, we'll have a look at all the transfer action that's going on as well. We'll have a look more at some of those pictures of Andy Carroll's house, which is quite extraordinary. And, of course, Porky will tell us a few more things about why obesity is the biggest problem facing this country. 08717 223344. You're listening to Mike Graham and Mike Parry on Talk Sport. This is TalkSport Extra Time. Of course, there will be a podcast coming out a little bit later on this morning, and you can find it at the Two Mics. If you go at the Two Mics as well, you will also find this video that we did a little bit earlier on when Porky handed over the sausages and the chocolate as part of his extended Christmas present, which, by the way, on January the 6th is a little bit late, isn't it?
No, it's the only time I've seen you since January the 1st.
Yeah. Well, January the 1st is also late.
Yeah, well, the
Christmas
point
Day is on December the 25th.
Yeah, but you have to organise your lives. And remember, I was nipping up and down from the coast all the time, in a valiant attempt to help you out with the shows here, obviously, and all that kind of stuff.
Very valiant, yes.
And
very good of you.
And I finally sort of got my act together and removed my estate back to Surrey. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. By the way, have you noticed that there's still some people with their Christmas lights up and things like that? I mean, all the Christmas decorations at my house have gone now.
Well, nobody takes notice of 12th night, do they?
Some people keep things up until today, which is the Epiphany, which is, if you take it religiously seriously, January
What's
the 6th
the Epiphany mean?
The day. The Epiphany is the day, the celebrations in terms of the religion that you follow, if you happen to be a Catholic, or I think Church of England follow it as well. But basically, it's the end of the kind of, the holy period of when the three kings came and all of that.
Okay,
and
right.
everything kind of got back to normal.
Yeah. It quite annoys me it goes on as long as it does anyway. I think it should all pack up on January the 1st.
Do you?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't mind it going on until the 6th, but I mean, it looks weird now. If you drive around now, people still get
Get
Christmas
on with
lights
life, it goes on for too long.
When did you take your tree down?
I didn't actually.
You didn't have a tree, did you?
No, I didn't have a tree, no.
You're miserable.
No. Think of the wasted resources in chopping somebody's tree down and putting in your lounge. It wouldn't do. Well,
when you consider the wasted resources of the cherry picker that's at your house, the scaffolding that's being put up.
By the way,
all of that.
Can I say
by the way, I need to ask you about the exercise bike as well.
Well, don't worry about that.
Don't worry about it.
Well,
have you got it up yet?
I just want to say to a lot of our listeners, thank you ever so much indeed for all the information on the cherry picker.
Oh, yeah.
I've had a lot of cherry picker drivers and operators who sent me pictures of themselves driving their cherry pickers. Even one of them sent me a picture of the control panel within the cradle.
Yes.
Should I want to, in any way, operate it myself?
Yeah.
So if I came home,
for instance...
you'd
be allowed to do that.
If I came home intoxicated, right, and I'd forgot my front door key, I could climb into the basket of the old cherry picker, right? And because this very kind listener sent me a picture of the cherry picker control panel and pointed out which buttons to press, I could get myself up and over the, the railings of the roof garden balcony and get in. Oh, I couldn't actually because the door would be locked, wouldn't it? So that would be a bit of a nuisance.
Has it got a lock from the inside, like a sliding lock, or is it a key lock?
No, it's a key lock on both sides.
Well, you could take the key with you then.
Well, provided I remembered to. But I mean, I've lost the front door key. I'm unlikely to take the key to the 4th floor roof garden entrance.
So, what's the current status of the terrace?
Well, funny enough, and our listeners are very observant, and they do pay attention. They've all said good luck with the renovations which are taking place this week, which they are. That's
so they started then. Did they start
tomorrow.
Starts tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Yeah.
What, Tuesday, Wednesday? You mean?
No, today, Tuesday.
Today,
Tuesday.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, good thinking.
A lot of people also were rather unhappy about your attitude, your rather miserly attitude towards the, quotes, workmen who you won't allow into the house.
No, I don't think so at all. I think you've got to have a quite clear dividing line between who the workmen are and who the recipients of the work are.
Uh-huh.
I think that's got to be absolutely clear. It's a bit like when you're a football manager. You've been a player. You become the manager. You can't stay friends with the boys anymore. You're the manager. It's a different level of authority. And that's what life's about. That's what life is about.
So you see yourself as being in charge of all these guys?
I don't see myself as being in charge. I see myself as being in a position to influence the world's economy by being able to apply my principle practically and theoretically of trickle-down economics. So that's how the world works.
Will you be giving them a tip?
Depends on the job. Depends on the job.
Because you normally tip people for no good reason in restaurants.
I like tipping people. I like people to feel good. You've got to remember that I feel good if I'm doing good and making people feel good. It's a selfish thing to feel good. Like I think sorrow is a selfish thing. Sorrow is a very selfish thing. When
it's also a song.
If sadly if somebody has died or something like that in the family or something like that, which is a terrible thing, obviously. Sorrow is self-perpetuating self-pity.
Is it?
Well, who are you feeling sorry for? You're not feeling sorry for the person who's died because they're dead and they haven't got any feelings.
You can feel sorry for them, yes. You can feel sorry for those that loved them, other people that are connected to them.
Yeah, but mostly you're saying, I feel miserable about this, therefore... I
don't think so.
Therefore, I'm going to feel sorry for myself.
I think when you feel sorry, you're not sure why you feel the way you feel. You just know that you don't feel good about something.
But sorrow it's amorphous and negative. What's the product of sorrow? Nothing except self-indulgence.
No, I don't think that's true.
No, I think sorrow is self-indulgence.
I disagree with you.
I think sorrow is self-indulgence.
Let's read out a few tweets from people that have seen the video. Pete says this at the two mics. Where's the top of Porky's hair gone? He says.
What?
Where's the top of Porky's hair gone?
What are you on about?
Well, he's looked at the video and he says he can't see the top of your hair.
Well,
it means your hair's disappeared, basically, in other words.
Well, it must have been the light.
William says Porky will have to do away with all his money. How many people infected with germs have passed £1 coins and notes around?
Well, do you know what? That is a very good point. That's one of the worst purveyors of germs, coinage, money. Yeah. Because, you get a handful of coins. Sometimes, maybe you go in a pub and ounces are £3.20 for a pint of beer. So you delve into your pocket, you pull out all these coins. Every single one of those coins has got millions of germs on them. And then
some of them are fake as well, if you follow the common sort of news stories.
So then you put them back in your pocket, and then your hand is scarred with all these millions of germs and all other sorts of things that get onto coins. Really horrible stuff. And you should never, ever, after you've handled coins, ever put your hands anywhere near your face or your mouth or food or anything. Excuse me. Because I'll be carrying so many germs. Yeah, that is something. Now, all I want to get on to you about, Mike, is this. How could you have got to the situation where you're allowing a plague of rats to run around your home?
Well, it's a very good question, that. But when you live in a country...
With young children in the house.
When you live in the country, they're not running around the house, OK? They are running around, at times, in parts of the house, but not inside the parts where we are actually dwelling.
Hang on. They're running around in the ceiling, aren't they?
In the attic, yeah.
Right.
And when they're in the attic, as you know, what happens is that they can get from... What they found the two spots where they got in.
Yeah.
Right? There was underneath the eaves of the attic.
I told you.
They were somehow able to get in. Yeah, you're absolutely right about this.
I told you.
I did say that I was going to congratulate you on finally getting something right.
Yeah.
That you said that they were rats. And apparently, because it got very cold... and there have been, when you go to a farm, there's always rats running around. Yeah. And in London, for example, you're never more than apparently about 7 feet away from a rat. Right. Because there's millions of them around. Yeah. And apparently, they once they get in, the only thing you can do is put the poison down, which is what they've done. But the poison is in the form of a kind of bait, almost. Are you feeling all right?
Sorry?
Are you feeling all right?
Wouldn't mind if we turn the temperature up in here a bit. I think it's getting to the back of my throat.
It's getting a bit cold, is it?
Yeah,
okay.
I think so.
All right, I'll put the heater on. Or the fire, as you said before.
Yeah, the fire.
The thing about it is that now that they've put the bait down, they think it's food, so they're coming in still at about sort of 7 or 8 o'clock at night, and they scratch around and run about a bit, then they go back out again, and hopefully within about the next 2 or 3 days there will be no more. And that'll be the end of it.
Yeah, but if they're running in and running out, that's a transient rat population. It's not the same rats.
No. Well, it might. Well, they don't know. They're not sure. We've got the specialists in. They tell us they know exactly what to do.
Don't you see? I see this nightmare scenario. I see your little boys asleep in their bedroom. Do they share one bedroom or
no? They got a bedroom each.
Right. And all of a sudden, the scratching turns to a deeper scratching, and all of a sudden, a rat is coming through the ceiling.
No, they can't do that.
Why?
They won't be able to do that. Well, we're advised that they won't do that. That they're only coming in for the food and they're going back out again.
Yeah,
they're not interested in having any contact with humans.
I'm not sure about this.
Well, I'm not sure about it either, but what am I supposed to do?
Well, all
I also know is that they've said that...
I'd move house.
Well, the last suggestion was I should burn it down.
Well, I didn't actually say burn it down.
Yeah, you did.
I didn't. I said that you can actually smoke out rats by
I can try that.
Putting smoke capsules into the loft, and that will keep them from going in there. You should try a bit harder.
I could just go up there and do an old Chesney scenario and just start smoking.
I think you should try a bit harder to protect your family from a plague of rats, frankly. You seem...
I don't know what else you want me to do.
You seem to me to be completely, at ease with the fact that rats are running around in your...
rats are running around everywhere. Rats are running around outside. Rats are running around in your building where you live. They're everywhere.
The vast majority of people in this country do not have rats running around in the ceiling of their bedroom. That is an appalling situation.
It's not good.
It is not good. It is not good. Get up there and do something about it.
Well, I'm not going to do anything about it, but these guys are going to
shoot
block
them.
in.
Get an air pistol. Get an air pistol, go and shoot them yourself.
No, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, and let them know that you're about, and then they won't come back in. I'm telling you, they can communicate with each other, rats.
No, they'll just have a load of holes in the ceiling.
No, you won't. No, you won't. I'd shoot them. I'd get up there and get a torch, and as soon as you see them in the torch, bang, and do them.
Maybe you'd like to come around and shoot them. Would you like to come around? I'll get you one of those guns with a telescopic sight and a torch on it like they have in the SWAT team.
Once you shoot a few of those rats, believe me, they'll say, I'm not going in there again. It's a bit nasty.
Before you rudely interrupted me earlier, I was going to say what they're going to do on the rest of the farm is they're going to shoot the rats that they can see running about, so the rat population will generally dwindle.
Rat populations, you well know, can double in like a month.
Yeah, I know.
Because they breed.
Yeah, I know.
Very prolifically.
Prolifically indeed. Yeah. Well, hopefully by the time you and I speak to each other on Thursday, it'll be a completely historic story and won't be going on anymore.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
I'm not sure about it either, but, you know, I don't know what else I could do. He's Mike Porky Parry, I'm Mike Graham. We are, of course, the two Mikes on Talk Sport. Keep your texts coming to 81089. Email us via the website, talksport.com, and find us at the two Mikes, at Mike Parry 8 and at IROMG. This is Talk Sport. Talk Sport Extra Time. We are the two Mikes, and Everton, of course, played tonight. You were talking there about the magic of the FA Cup having disappeared. Taking on West Ham tonight. You can't be feeling particularly confident, can you?
No,
I mean, you make a little speech there earlier about how you've got great faith in Roberto Martinez.
Sure.
Well, not a lot of Everton fans have.
No, I think they have. I think it's just that we're going through a very bad spell. Lost 4 consecutive Premier League games. Haven't done that for, I think it's 10 years or something like that. But
isn't it the worst Everton start to the season for many a year as well?
Not the worst. I mean, no. When we won the FA Cup in 95, so of course the season started in 94.
Yeah.
The manager was sacked after about 12 games because we had 3 points.
Oh, really?
And that was Mike, what's his name, who came from Norwich, remember? Mike...
No, Mike who?
He is son...
Mike Walker?
Yeah, Mike Walker, thank you, well done, because his son was an England goalkeeper, Ian Walker.
Oh, right, okay.
And so it's not the worst, but it's obviously not as good as last season. Now, a lot of the papers this morning are doing these inquests into Everton. Martinez faces up to biggest game of the season. Everton manager desperate to avoid 5th successive loss. FA Cup tie West Ham could be pivotal, he admits. And it is all of that, you know. And then you go to another paper like that was in the that was the Telegraph. Yeah, looking at Daily Mail and. They've got the inquest again about... But what they do there is they do all the questions, you know what I mean? Like sort of, you know, Merseyslide, Everton a mess after 4 losses in a row, £28 million Lukaku, nowhere near his best, tension rises in camp as Martinez tells. And you know, that's questions like, is there a confidence crisis? Why can't they keep fit? No case for the defence. Tense atmosphere. And it's all that kind of stuff. So it is absolutely critical. Of course, by the time, you know... tomorrow comes around and we find out what's going on, all that might be irrelevant, or it might have got even more serious. It is a turning point. I think...
but if they're out of the FA Cup at this early stage,
I'd hate it.
Surely that's going to be bad news for him.
It is very bad news. I would hate it, because, you know, what interest is left in the season after that? Because we didn't...
Well, you've got the Europa League still.
Yeah, well, that's absolutely true, we have. But
You've forgotten about that.
I'm not
and also, you can't seem to make up your mind about the Europa League, because one time you say that it's a great competition and Everton are doing very well in it, and the next time I hear you talking, as I heard you talking on breakfast the other day, you're saying it's a load of rubbish and it's ruining Everton's season.
Yeah, well...
which is it then?
The Europa League is a luxury, in my view. You've got to get your domestic form right first. And if your domestic form's suffering, then I think that you've got to say to yourself, rather be doing well at home and not so well abroad. Now, listen, you talked about overweight people, right?
I wasn't talking about
Yes, you were. We're going to talk about them because, you know, you shy...
Well, I've got a tweet here from somebody who says, why is Porky obsessed with obesity?
I'm not obsessed with obesity, but I'm telling you, obesity is going to be the biggest threat to the well-being of this country in years to come, and people can't see it coming. I read over the weekend, Mike, that half of the ambulance services in this country are now having to scrap their traditional ambulances and get bigger ones because people are getting so much bigger so rapidly.
Really?
They need bigger...
Well, we've had the story about the cinema seats getting bigger, haven't
we?
Oh,
yeah, all of that. But the ambulances need...
And coffins as well.
Coffins are getting bigger, ambulances are getting bigger, mortuary slabs are getting bigger. How about all that? But the ambulances in particular...
You like talking about mortuaries, though.
I like talking about mortuaries.
You still drive past that place, by the way, with the lights on.
God, it's terrible. The lights are on 24 hours a day. I can't go another way. I'd have to go like on a big detour route. It's not
detour route.
It's only about 4 roads away from my home. But these lights are on all night, and they shine down on the slabs where the bodies are laid out.
You can't see all that from outside.
No,
surely.
It's a frosted window, you see. But the top of the window is clear glass, so you can see the lights, and they're big arc lights, like the sort of things you'd see in an operating theatre.
So you can actually see in.
Yeah, but you only see the ceiling, you see the lights. But it's what the lights shine down on, all the cadavers which are below them. Sure, gets me. Anyway, listen, the situation is this. Overweight people are now claiming that they need more protection in society because they're mocked and ridiculed at every turn.
Well, there was that case, wasn't there, in the European Court, where basically it ruled that you can be discriminated against as for being ill and for being obese. And so therefore, if you are somehow fired because you're unable to do your job because you're too fat, you will be able to claim compensation.
Because this guy couldn't lean down and tie his shoelaces. It was unbelievable.
Was it in Germany or something?
It was in Germany. But look what this says. 4 in 10 people who are fat, obese, say they receive some kind of personal insult at least once a week, right? Staff in clothes shops laugh at them when they ask for larger sizes.
Yeah.
That's for larger sizes. They laugh at them. And then supermarket workers who comment disfavourably on the contents of their trolleys.
Really?
Yeah, God, you really need 6 pizzas,
That's outrageous.
do you really need 8 bags of chips?
Hang on, a few weeks
chips?
ago you were telling me that the latest kind of approach, supposedly, for people who were slightly overweight was for their friends to tell them
I'm all in favour of it. I'm all in favour of it.
But if you go into a shop, you shouldn't be, spoken to
I'm
like
all
that.
in favour of it.
No, I think that's wrong.
I'm all in favour of it, because if these people are not being told that they are gross, that they're ugly, that they're fat and unattractive to the rest of the human race, then who's going to tell them? They're just going to get fatter and fatter.
Well, no, I don't think
it's a huge problem.
But I mean, that brings you back to my whole point about customer service in this country. You don't go into a place, whether it be a restaurant or a pub or a food shop or any other kind of place, and expect to be given a free character reading by the people serving you. That's all wrong. Totally.
It's tough love to get people to lose weight, Mike, and it's a huge problem. Now, this guy here, Professor James Stubbs, right? Now,
where's he from, then?
Well, he's a Slimming World research specialist. He studies obesity at the University of Derby. I have to admit, I didn't even know Derby had a university, did you?
Well, it's a bit like the Nottingham University, isn't it?
No.
University of the Trent.
University of the Trent, that's the one you're talking about, yeah.
Derby probably had a polytechnic as well that claims now to be a university.
I'll ignore that. He said that being rude and unpleasant is really unhelpful when it comes to motivating people to lose weight. People shouldn't
Dave behind the glass just told me that apparently tomorrow, Wednesday, is Tell a Friend You're Fat Day.
Oh, is it? Well, that's excellent. That's excellent. Because
so who are you going to tell, then?
Sorry?
Who are you going to tell?
Well, I could tell you to start off with. Is it tomorrow or today?
It's tomorrow.
Like Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Well, I'll give you a call tomorrow.
So you'll ring me tomorrow?
I will. I'll say Fatso.
Yeah.
It's about
time
you
say that every
weight.
day. So
I'll say
to me,
no,
it won't be any different for any other day.
I don't call it. I'll say Fatso, lose a bit of weight, son. And
what effect do you think that's going to have?
Well, your children might have a bit more respect for you.
Really?
The fat blob who turns up every night.
Well, they have more respect for me than they have for you, the guy that gives them one present to share 7 days or possibly 2 weeks late after Christmas. They might have a bit more respect for me.
I'm not going to get back into that. I've tried to be as generous as I could. Now, the other humiliations fat people suffer, right? They're walking along the street and all of a sudden a car goes past, a window's wound down, people are pointing and laughing at them, calling them fat
ridiculous.
And all sorts of things,
well, that's
right?
ludicrous.
And also...
that's the kind of thing that you promulgate, isn't it?
Oh, of course not. I wouldn't do that. That's personally abusive. That's horrible.
Personally abusive to me.
Yes, but I know you quite well. I know you can take it.
No, right,
I
okay.
wouldn't do it to a stranger.
So it's not actually designed to help me. It's just designed to do something that you enjoy doing.
I like to remind you that you are grossly overweight and something should be done about it.
Once when I was going to a wedding, I thought I'll go and buy a new suit.
Yeah.
And I went to Hugo Boss in Regent Street. Because I used to shop at Hugo Boss quite a lot.
Excuse me.
And I went in there and I was like, I quite like looking at some of these suits. And the guy wasn't very helpful to begin with,
Yeah.
And, because Hugo Boss had become very trendy from when I used to buy the suits in New York. And I said, I quite like to try one of these on. He's like, I don't think those are for you, sir. That was what he said.
Yeah. What sort of suit was it?
It was a sort of, it was one of those kind of quite shiny, what I would call a footballer's suit. Like a grey, light grey.
Yeah.
I ended up buying a couple of Italian suits instead because I wasn't very happy with the way that this guy was responding since I was willing to spend quite a lot of money. Anyway, I took this rather, it was like a slim-fitting suit into the changing room, but he was quite right. It didn't really fit me.
No.
And so I gave it back to him and I said, I'm going to buy
So he was right, in fact.
He was right,
exactly. So you took offence, but he was right.
I didn't really take offence. I just thought to myself, if I was in his position, if I was selling suits to somebody, I would say whatever I could say to them in order to sell them a suit.
Sure.
Why would you say, I don't think that one's for you? I would have said, well, why don't you try this one instead?
Years ago, as a kid, I remember going to a shop in Chester, right, when I was getting a new, pair of trousers or something, and there was a fat kid in there, really fat kid, you know. And
do you really think that you're normal weight? Is that, the way you describe everybody else?
Yeah, I think I'm pretty normal.
Do you?
Yeah.
In every respect?
Well, certainly in those days, I was as lithe as
anybody.
What's
your BMI?
Eh?
What's your BMI?
I don't know what BMI is.
What do you mean you don't know?
I don't care what it is. It doesn't matter.
You don't care? Well, we can work it out.
I feel good in my body, you know, I feel good.
Well, we can work out from how tall you are and how much you weigh what it is.
Anyway, look, I want to tell you this historical story.
Okay, you don't want to talk about it. We'll come back to that.
He's this really fat kid, and he was trying on checked suits. He wanted a checked suit. So, you know, to be honest...
Prince of Wales check.
But a big, broad check. So
Prince of Wales check's quite broad.
Is it? Yeah, I thought maybe he wants to go to a... No, I don't really. Maybe this kid wants to go to a Billy Bunter lookalike party or something like that, because that's what he's looking like. About 18, I think. And eventually, the guy who was helping him, and this kid kept saying, what do I look like in this? You know, the guy said... So eventually the kid said, you don't seem very impressed. He said, are you calling me fat? And the shopkeeper said, well, checks can do it for you, sir. And the guy nearly punched him. I mean, it was it was kind of, you take your suit and stuff it and all this kind of stuff.
Well, people are deluded about the way they look.
It wasn't the shopkeeper's fault.
People are deluded about the way they look, aren't they?
Fat kid.
Well, people don't know that necessarily, and they don't walk around like you do, for example. You walk around feeling happy in your skin, quite happy with the way how you are, as I do.
Yeah.
But, you know, technically speaking, I mean, neither one of us would be described as slim.
Now, what about this? The way it's going?
You're just ignoring me again,
No, I'm not ignoring you.
No, I can tell.
No.
I can tell you get that tone in your voice.
No.
You're not listening to me.
No. What about this?
What? Look at the time.
The time is going to come, and it's not going to be very far away, when fat people will be able to sue you personally if you refuse to sit next to them on public transport.
Really?
Because you fear getting squashed by their oversized arms, bellies, buttocks, or whatever.
Ridiculous. Well,
Isn't that ludicrous?
Well, that won't happen to you because you never travel by public transport, do you?
No, I do. I do travel.
Well,
by
when
public
people were
transport.
quizzing you about it over the weekend on Twitter, your response was, "I travel by bus. I hired a private minibus to take my family to dinner."
I did. Well, I did. What's wrong with saying that?
That's not travelling by bus, is it?
Well, of course it is. It's a bus.
No, it's not a bus. It's a private hire vehicle.
Well, I mean, that was because there were 10 of us, and I thought, well, what am I going to do? Get 3 taxis, 4 taxis?
Or you could actually go on a real bus.
No, we couldn't. No. Well, because where my sister lives in Bournemouth, where we were based for Christmas, it is off the beaten track. There aren't any buses. There aren't any buses. No buses. No.
People are accusing you of being a bit of a snob, anyway.
Well, I think that's grossly unfair, you know. Excuse me. Anyway, basically, the result of this survey I've been telling you about is that when people get mocked for being fat, they tend to get more fat because they get depressed.
Yeah.
So you're not supposed to mock fat people.
So ringing me and telling me is not going to help me, is it?
Well, it should help you. I'm sorry, but what this means is that fat people are not only lacking discipline to keep their body in shape, they are feeble-minded.
Right. So that's why...
The majority of them are feeble-minded.
That's why you gave me chocolate and sausages.
Feeble-minded.
You gave me chocolate and sausages for a Christmas present. Thanks very much indeed.
No, the chocolate's for your children, right? And the sausages are perfectly healthy if you don't eat them with half a ton of mashed potato full of milk and butter.
Sausage is perfectly healthy. There speaks the expert. He's Mike Parry, I'm Mike Graham. We are the two Mikes. This is Talk Sport.
You keep saying you got something for me, something you call love, but confess you've been a messin' where you shouldn't have been a messin', and now someone else is getting all your best. These boots are made for walking.
One of my favourite songs, that.
Yeah, favourite songs.
It's a great scene in Full Metal Jacket when they're walking in Vietnam. Yeah, have you seen Full Metal Jacket?
Yeah. I don't remember that song in it.
You don't remember that song in it? I think it's one of the high points of the film, actually.
That song was written by a man, right? And I'm not sure who it was. Was it Marvin somebody or other?
Marvin Hamlish?
Yeah, something like that. Or I'm not sure, honestly. I can't remember. It was written by a classic
I'll see if I can find out for
American songwriter. And
written by Lee Hazelwood.
Lee Hazelwood, that's him. Yeah, that's him, definitely.
Not Marvin anyone.
No, not Marvin, no. And he wanted to sing it himself because he thought it was going to be his first hit record.
Yeah.
And, he took long to studio and then... excuse me. All right.
You're not going to make the 5-hour show on Thursday unless you put yourself in some kind of hyperbaric oxygen chamber.
Yeah, good idea. And then some producer at the studio heard it and just immediately thought, this has got to be a woman singing this song. We've got to turn it round
and
like
she
that.
does it brilliantly, doesn't she?
And they picked Nancy Sinatra, and of course it was a worldwide hit.
Yeah.
Now, the reason we're playing that, right...
Why are we playing it?
Well, because, did you hear the third or fourth line? You been messing where you shouldn't have been messing.
That's true, yeah.
Now, someone else gets the best of you.
Something like that, not quite.
What all that relates to is this survey I've become aware of, where men start getting tempted to stray when they come to critical... birthdays 30, 40, 50. So 29.5, 39.5, 49.5, they suddenly go on wanderlust in their mind and want to start branching out, having affairs,
so
all that
you
kind
think
of
it's 30, 40, 50, 60 maybe even? And now that 60 is the new 50?
I think when you're at 60 you've had it, haven't you? So
I don't think so. That. Well, you can tell me.
No, I can't tell you, but you'll be racing up there soon, won't you?
Well, I mean, not until
but
after
anyway,
you get
the reason why I need to talk to you about it,
why?
Is because you know, to put it bluntly, you have a history of infidelity in marriage.
I don't think that's very unfair.
No, it's not.
History of infidelity.
It's not.
You put it in that way.
You have a. I mean,
put it in that way.
Were you infidelious by the time of 29?
Infidelious?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there you go. You see, that's a straightforward.
It's nothing to do with my 30th birthday.
Oh no, you just did it all the time.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right. And
surely the point is that it's about how long you're with somebody, what your current.
And
state
were you
of affairs.
infidelious at the age of 30?
Infidelious
is
not a word.
It is.
I'll let you get away with it the first time.
It is.
Well, do you want me to find the proper word?
There is a word, infidelity, and if you are practising infidelity, you are guilty of infideliousness.
Infideliousness now?
Yeah, that's what I said.
So it's not infidelious, it's now infideliousness.
Well, it's all one extension of a word.
Right, we can extend it as many times as you like.
No.
How about if you're not infidelious, you're not suffering from infideliousness, so you're infideliousness-less.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's another development of the word. Fine.
That could be good.
But anyway, you know, we're talking about the wrong subject.
Semantics.
Here. Were you infidelious at 39?
Well, I refuse to accept that I'm infidelious at all because I don't think the word exists.
Hang on. You said at 29 you were. You admitted that you are.
Well, you're asking me to remember years back. I mean, I don't know exactly what year it was. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't have but I could probably say with.
I mean, what you're admitting here, Mike, is that you've been, guilty of infidelity.
Yeah.
To all your partners most of your life, and you can't actually remember 1 year to the next.
You
can't remember 1 year to the next.
You're making out like I've had loads of partners, which is not.
You have.
Is not necessarily true. And I've been married once, which, as you always point out, is you're always trying to make out I've been married more than once. I was married once, okay.
You have two families.
And the marriage lasted about 15 years, which I thought was pretty good going.
Yeah.
And it didn't last beyond that.
And you're already cheating on your wife in the first 5 years of that marriage, if you were cheating at the age of 29.
To be honest, I can't really remember if that's true or not.
You just said it was.
Well,
you just said it was.
It might be true. I don't know.
It just said it was. I mean, honestly, you've got the moral standards of an alley cat. You really have. Honestly.
Well, it's pretty good coming from you.
I'm appalled. I know your ex-wife. She was a lovely woman. She didn't deserve to be treated like you treated her. I think it's a damn disgrace.
Well, as you know, and as anybody knows, oh no, you don't know because you haven't been married. When you get married,
no. I haven't been married because I don't want to go around cheating on people at the age of 29, 39 or 49.
Didn't stop you sleeping with loads of married women, though, did it?
That's completely irrelevant.
Is it? Irrelevant?
Of course it's irrelevant.
Oh, right, okay. So that's all right then. So that doesn't mean you having the morals of an alley cat.
Hang on, we're talking about men being tempted to stray at critical ages in their life. That's nothing to do with anything else.
So what makes you particularly preponderant on married women then? What makes you prey on them?
Well, you probably don't have to marry them, if you see what I mean.
Oh, I see. So it's an issue of sort of commitment with you.
Well, sort of, I suppose, but also...
I've said to you many times, you don't want people to get too close to you in case they get married to you, then you fall in love with them, you can't stop them being married, and then you split up and they take half your stuff. Well, that's what drives you. Well,
I think there is a practical side to partner making these days, to be honest, because you've got to be very, very careful indeed.
And also, whenever we have an expert on the matters of relationships, you say, should we not now be prepared to have at least more than maybe 2 marriages in our life, possibly 3?
Oh, I think there should be. I think people should be prepared to have 2 or 3 marriages in their life.
You can surely do that without being infidelious, can't you?
Well,
sometimes you just grow apart.
Yeah, sometimes you grow apart. I mean, look, what I mean about how careful you've got to be in cementing a unison these days. There was a divorce judge woman only last week who said that, sort of the cases she sees these days, she's convinced that some girls are only out to try and seek out a millionaire footballer to marry because eventually they realise that will set them up for life.
Yeah, first marriage syndrome.
Yeah, exactly. So,
well, look at Mrs. Paul McCartney.
Why do you think that so early in your married life you found it necessary to stray?
What, are you some kind of psychiatrist now?
No, I'm asking you why.
Why are you asking me?
Why?
Why is this of any interest to anybody?
Because of the survey that I pointed out to you.
Well, you haven't given me any details of the survey.
Well, I can't.
Where's the survey come from?
It doesn't matter where the survey's come from.
Is it another one of these knocked-off pollies that you used to go to?
No. This is an academically researched survey into the behavioural patterns of men in marriage, right?
Oh, yeah.
That they get itchy feet at 29, 39, 49. Now,
well, why? See, that's a ludicrous thing to say because it depends when you get married. I mean, there's lots of different things. If you get married when you're 18, it's very different if you feel like, straying by the time you get to 29 than if you get married when you're 29.
But you didn't get married when you were 18.
No, I didn't.
How old were you when you got married?
I was 27 when I got married.
And you were already straying by the time 29.
To be honest, I can't remember.
You've already admitted it on this programme.
Well, I can't remember.
Millions and millions of listeners have now heard you. That within 2 years of getting married, you were
I'm not
cheating on your wife.
I'm not saying that's true.
You, honestly, you're a damn...
Well, we've been living together for years before that.
You're a bag of bile.
We've been living together for about 5 years before we got married.
That's nonsense. Oh, so you thought, I'll get married now. Now I've got married, now I can cheat on her.
Well, no, but it's not.
I think that's awful.
No, it's not.
I'm glad your children aren't listening to this. I really am. I'm glad.
Some of them might be.
Well,
thanks for bringing it up.
Some of them, there you are.
Thanks for bringing it up.
Just, some of them somewhere in the world might be. The abandoner.
Yeah.
Talks about his children. I don't think we should talk about this. I don't think we should talk about this any further.
Here's one from Axel, who's tweeted in at IROMG.
Axel? What a name.
Yeah, Axel, like Axl Rose.
Yeah.
For his height and weight, I would say that a doctor would tell Mike Parry that he is obese.
I think that's very unkind.
Luke says, has Mike seen himself? If his heart isn't working that well, he must not be looking after his own. No wonder he's called Porky. And then here's one from Woodenhead who says, Parry better get a new job. Wearing headphones for just an hour will increase the bacteria in your ears by 700 times.
Well, that's why I have my own headphones. Could you tell the boy that? You don't have your own headphones, do you?
No, I don't have my own headphones. But I'm not the one that's ill. But I'm not always ill, though.
Yeah, well,
because my immune system is actually working rather well.
No, I don't think so. The other thing about that, I'm grateful to our listeners who are trying to help with the world's obesity problems, which are huge. The other thing that relates to that, Mike, is that your children, right? Do you know when they drink a can of orange or something like that, fizzy orange pop and all that?
Yeah.
Could be the equivalent of 22 cubes of sugar in those.
Yeah, well, my kids aren't allowed to drink that stuff.
So you don't let them drink it anymore. That's good. You're doing something right for once. That's good. And
I've got a BMI index here.
Have you?
Chart for adults.
Why would that interest me?
Well, because you say you don't know what your figure is. So,
I don't need to.
5'4" says here. If you are more than...
Well, I'm not 5'4".
If you're more than 160 pounds, right, you're obese.
Well,
how much do you weigh?
Well, that's totally irrelevant for me. I'm not 5'4".
Oh, what are you then?
5'8" 3/4".
Okay, 5'8" 3/4. That means you should not weigh more than 200 pounds.
Yeah, that's about right.
Is it?
Yeah.
So you would say you weigh less than 200 pounds?
I'd say about 196 pounds.
Okay, so according to this, you're overweight. You're not obese.
No, that's true at all.
But that would be only if you're 5'9".
Hang on. How much is 196 pounds? 196 pounds.
Well, 210 pounds is 15 stone.
Hang on. 16 ounces, 1 pound. 14 pounds, 1 stone. Because I'm dividing 14.
No, well, if you do 15 stone, right, it's 210 pounds.
15 stones what?
210 pounds.
Right. Okay.
So if you were to take 1 stone off that, which would say you were 14 stone, that would be 196.
Okay, well, that's about right.
Is that about what you are?
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, but that means if that's all right if you're 5'9", but if you're 5'8", for example, that puts you in the marginal obese category.
No, because I'm closer
to BMI of 30 and above.
I'm closer to 5'9", mate, so I haven't got a problem there with that. But look, the one problem that I haven't mentioned on this yet, which is another very, very worrying trend, is that the NHS are now offering more gastric bands than ever.
Right.
Why would you want a gastric band?
Well, because some people are obese because they can't stop eating.
I think it's disgusting. They've got to be told not to eat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, there's lots of things that people can't do by themselves, but I don't believe that NHS money should be wasted on this nonsense.
Yeah, but look, I've had this argument with so many people. I've done loads of radio programmes with various stations and channels.
You were actually hired, were you not, by Radio 4 as an expert on obesity?
Yes, I was, yeah.
Which is extraordinary.
No.
Talk about the dumbing down of the BBC.
No, not at all. And I put it to them and I got loads and loads of support. excuse me, obesity is the result of weakness, not illness.
In most cases, not in every case.
Is the result of weakness, not illness.
Not in every case.
People should not have gastric bands. They should have their faces wide up, right? And I'm serious.
You can get that done as well.
You can, exactly. But at least then you've got...
You can get your face wide up, they won't be able to hear you.
I'm going to ignore that. If you've got your face wide up, and then at least you've got some public humiliation and shame about your fatness. Whereas if you go for a gastric band, nobody knows that you are...
That's the advantage of it.
Exactly, but nobody knows that you've been taken to extreme measures.
Who was it on TV that lost a load of weight and didn't tell anyone? Was it Anne Diamond?
It was Anne Diamond, I think, yeah. It was Anne Diamond, yeah. She was on some sort of morning show.
She didn't reveal that she'd had a gastric band. Yeah, bizarre. Right, I can't imagine anything worse than having anything inside you.
Neither can I. Neither can I.
Bizarre. That was the Two Mics podcast.
Yes, it certainly was. Don't forget, it's out every Tuesday and every Friday morning on iTunes.
And you can follow us at the Two Mics.
So keep listening for more of MG's loose morals. Believe me, this boy hasn't got a moral fibre in his body.
And more of his bizarre buffoonery.
What?
I think he's a mental pygmy.